it's been a haul for you. And some people probably know the story. I mean, the first time you crossed my sort of awareness is you're doing an event outside of Jeff Bezos' house in D.C., living in the DMV. I saw that. But what got you going? Why did you start?
They fired me. They picked the wrong one. It's that simple. I mean, yeah, I was hired in 2015, came at entry level, and I worked hard, got promoted up into a process assistant, better known as assistant manager. Was in that position for 4.5 years. I applied to be a salary manager over 50 times. Never got it. Only got interviewed twice. I opened up 3 buildings for this company: New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. JFK was my last facility. And I was already mentally done and drained before, COVID. COVID was a life or death situation, so I couldn't just leave the people that I spend 40, 50, 60 hours a week with. So I took further action. And when they fired me, a week or 2 after that, that's when Jeff Bezos and his general counsel, David Zapolsky, decided to have a meeting, calling me not smart or articulate. But they also said to make me the face of the whole unionizing efforts. So I said, good idea. And that's when we started to travel, and we ended up in New York City at his once $80 million mansion. Now it's probably worth over 140, because he keeps buying floors in the same penthouse, like he needs any more bedrooms. And we went from New York, then we ended up in DC. We set up a guillotine. That's what you're talking about. And we went out west to Beverly Hills to his $165 million mansion. And then from there, we went to Seattle, his first home, his headquarters, the Spears, Bill Gates' house on the way. And then we came back to New York and decided to unionize a year later. And on our birthday, 4/20/2021, 4/20, 2021, we started the Amazon Labor Union.
Yeah. And why a union? What's important about forming a union?
Well, these companies are at-will companies, and they deemed us as essential workers. So that doesn't even make sense right there. We're at will, but we're a necessity. You need us. We're essential workers with no protections, no job security, no decent living wage, no real paid medical leaves. We're disposable. Having a union provides the protections that we need, the job security, the wages, the health benefits, the pension, the free college. The list goes on and on. And having a union has representation that workers don't have. And Amazon workers especially don't have any of that, because we get fired by an app, or an A to Z app, or a computer or email. So forming this union is everything. And we know from our campaign that we have to take care of one another.
Yeah, and a little bit of news if people didn't see it, but you had a nice expansion this week.
That's right. Shout out to Albany, ALB1.
So second union, and we were talking a couple of days ago. Like you said, union's everything, but you also are building a movement around this. And you spent the summer, hot labor summer. You've been traveling around. What was that about, and why do you think it's necessary to do that kind of work?
I started at Labor Notes, Chicago, having 4,000 people in that room with Bernie. And I said, we're going to leave here, we're going to go organize across the country. So I said the Hot Labor Summer Tour begins. And from that moment, I've been to over 20-something cities, traveling the country, spreading the message. and inspiring people and motivating people to get involved. But also sharing that message that as labor, we got to be on the same page. And labor is a movement, we got to move together. And everybody has to be David going up against Goliath. It's not just the ALU. The ALU broke the barrier, but now we all got to storm the door. So we have to get ready, you know, and the best thing we can do as people in the working class is withhold our labor and general strike.
And the other thing we were talking about is, you know, you made the point that, you know, we're all the working class. If you're not 1%, you're you know, the power balance is there. And, you know, also that a lot of the power, you know, a lot of the issues play out in our workplaces. So, you know, solidarity is key. Because there's a lot of people here that represent a lot of different issues, a lot of different organizations. But, you know, you mentioned banding together is really important. And where's your vision going from here?
Well, you heard what I told Lindsay, Mrs. Graham. It's not a left or a right thing, it's a workers' thing. And we're in a new time for labor. It's a new school labor, new generation of labor. And there's a lot of dinosaurs in leadership. Let's be real. A lot of dinosaurs in office that don't want to allow us to blossom and create the change that we need in society. We got to tell them they got to get out of the way. You know, it's our time now. You know, and it doesn't matter what industry you're in. You know, Amazon, Starbucks, Walmart, Target, Instagram users, Facebook users, Times Magazine, gig workers, Google workers, Apple, Trader Joe's, Kellogg's, the list goes on and on. All these industries that are fighting, we all have the same struggle, it's the same fight. And we have to hold our unions accountable as well. And that's where we at in the labor movement. It's up to all of us. And we have to be on the same accord. Because the other side, let me tell you, they're pouring billions and trillions of dollars into stopping organized labor, creating autonomous jobs, creating jobs where they're going to take away from working class people. They're already doing it. The Amazon Go stores, these cashless stores, you go to the airport now, you can't even talk to a person. They got you checking in at the machine. That's what happens when you hit one click buy.
And you got Labor Days. You know, it's created for labor, and you have plans for this Labor Day.
Oh yeah, big plans. I'm shutting New York City the hell down.
Hell yeah.
Open invite too. I'm inviting everybody here. Pull up at Howard Schultz house at noon. What's up, Howard? We coming for you. And then we going to march to Jeff Bezos. We've been there plenty of times. He know us. And then we're going to shut it down in Times Square, the heart of capitalism. And I'm inviting everybody to join us. And we're going to amplify the fact that we haven't been recognized in any of these campaigns, including the Starbucks campaigns that's sweeping the nation. And we have to recognize the fact that these companies are breaking the law every day, firing workers, exploiting workers. Workers are dying in warehouses, and nobody's being held accountable. So we have to take back the real meaning of Labor Day. So this ain't no damn parade. This is really a call to action and bringing back the real meaning of Labor Day. And unions and leaders of the movement and the working class people should all take the streets.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll add for everyone's here, it's in New York, go. If you're not in New York, but you have membership in New York, find some ALU people and find out how you can get your membership out there with them. Because it is about solidarity, and you know, everybody who's working to build progressive power, worker power is central to it. looking out past Labor Day, what you got coming in the fall 2024?
I haven't created the hashtag yet, but I'm leaning towards a cold labor winter. It's going to be a lot of wildfire strikes and wildcat strikes. There's going to be a lot more campaigns. We're not done with the ALU. We're getting buildings pretty much every day. There's going to be an uprising of campaigns. There's going to be an uprising of the labor movement. And right now, everybody has a role to play. You can't come on the ground. There's other ways to get involved. Start by having that conversation with yourselves. You got to cancel those primes. Start with your family members. Start with your relatives, your community. If you go to Starbucks, order your drink Union Strong. Little things like that, details like that, showing workers that the community cares for them. That matters. And donating to our funds. You know, we want to go on strike. And I'm talking about Amazon workers too. It's about that time. As we know, just like Starbucks, they're not going to come to the table, they're not going to recognize us. There's already been stores on strike. We're asking everybody here to prepare yourselves to have a solidarity fund donation for the Amazon Labor Union as well. Because we're going to have buildings that's going to be starting their campaigns nationwide. So I'm asking for your support today, and every worker here that helped that campaign to its victory. These are your brothers and sisters that come from your communities. We look just like y'all. We're asking everybody here to get involved. So if you have an email list, if you have members, if you have delegation, you have fellowships, you have ways of fundraising for us, we want to make sure that we collect all of that, because we're going to need it going up against Amazon. So showing solidarity starts now. We all have a mission, and we're asking for your help.
And it's AmazonLaborUnion.org, and click on the donate button for the Solidarity Fund. So everyone here, take out your phones after this. Everyone that's watching, do that. And then, of course, you can get connected to all the other actions coming up. Where do you think this is going? Where do you want this to be in 24, 25?
Well, I definitely want to see us with a contract.
That's damn right. Yeah.
That's the only thing that matters right now, is getting us a contract. Once we get a contract, you know, that's going to help other industries have better contracts. It's going to help inspire other workers to really form their unions now, because it's possible. And started with Amazon, it's going to be the #1 retailer in the world in a couple of years. 1 out of every 4 Americans is going to have worked or know somebody who worked at this company. So we don't stop them at the gates. We're talking about the Death Star here. Seriously, pinky in the brain. It's like they want to take over the world. Amazon looking at your medical records now. They're buying insurance companies. We're talking about a bookstore. So we have to be resilient against this company. We have to say enough is enough. Jeff Bezos has more than enough money. And it's time they pay their fair share. So stand in solidarity with the workers.